Awesome. Hi, everyone. My name is Emily, and welcome to another session of GradAustralia. I'll be your host for today's session. So I'd like to begin today's session with an acknowledgement of country. As we gather for this meeting, physically dispersed and virtually constructed, let us take a moment to reflect the meaning of place, and by doing so, recognize the various traditional lands on which we do our business today. We acknowledge the elders, past and present, of all the land we work and live on, and their ancestral spirits with gratitude and respect. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders peoples here today. I'm joining the call from Brisbane, which is the traditional land of the Turrbal people. So to introduce myself, my name's Emily. I'm one of the webinar hosts for GradAustralia, and this is one of our Career Talk sessions. We hold them weekly on various topics: engineering, tech, sales, nursing, literally everything. For those of you who don't know what GradAustralia is, it's a graduate career site where you can get to know graduate employers. You get like a backstage pass to see what they're like through videos, blog posts, webinars, and a bunch of other things. You can also sign up and then you'll get notified of open applications and opportunities that you can apply to. So today's session is titled Engineering in the Government, What to Expect and How to Get a Graduate Position. And I have three guests joining us today, who are all from the Department of Transport and Mains Roads. So today I have Lee, who is the Principal Advisor, and then we also have Janitha, who is a graduate civil engineer, and then we also have Tek, who is a Senior Project Manager. So I just want to introduce all you guys. So we'll start with Lay and then Janitha, and then we'll go to Tek. If you guys want to give a quick little introduction to yourself and how you got to working with TMR.
Thanks, Emily. So hi, everyone. My name is Lee Jansen. I am the Principal Advisor of the TMR graduate team. So all of the graduate recruitment function is what I oversee, including the learning and development. I have a little team reporting to me that works on the recruitment and the learning and development, and I have been in TMR for 18 years, and I love working in the graduate space, being able to offer opportunities to bright new talent coming through, like our Janitha here. That's me.
Sorry. Thanks, Lee. Hi, everyone. My name is Janitha. I'm a graduate civil engineer with TMR, working with Road Tech, the construction arm of TMR. I got involved with TMR through a internship that I did. It was a joint venture. And yeah, I really liked the work that I was involved with, especially a lot of technical and stakeholder engagement and site visits, which really gave me practical experience. So, and yeah, just enjoyed the culture there. And as a result, I wanted to apply to the grad program after my end of uni. And yeah, so far I've been at TMR for 7 months, and yeah, it's been smooth sailing.
Thank you, Janitha. Thank you, Emily and Lee. Thanks for the opportunity to speak on behalf of wider TMR, Department of Transport and Main Roads. My name is Tek Karki. I'm acting as a Senior Project Manager within the Road Tech, which is a construction and wing which does all these project delivery across different facets of civil engineering, structures, pavement works, lines and signs, guardrail, and SMPC and other contracts as well. I joined TMR in basically 2012. It's been around 10 years and probably a few more months. And it's really been fruitful talking to my peers, talking to senior engineer and principal engineers across the TMR family, and get to know people and learning from the experience over the years. TMR is definitely an organization which empowers people to reach to their potential and help and coach people like Janitha, who joined us in I think around 7 months and has found his foot within the team and progressed through found himself in a different situation where he's confident and can do so many different works for for this organization. So that's about me. I think we'll talk about more as more questions come through. So for now, yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, for the intro. So I just want to start off with our first question. But before I do that, I'll just let everyone in the audience know that if you have any questions, feel free to just pop them in the comments. This is the time to ask anything that you want to ask. As we go through the questions that we prepared, we'll also check the comments and ask any of the questions that you guys have. So this question is for Janitha. So it's just about what does a typical day as a graduate in TMR involve?
Yeah, so with the current rotation that I'm taking part in at RoadTech, there's, I guess, work can be categorized into two aspects, I guess, administration and technical. And in terms of administration, I'm involved with a lot of project management plans, so developing environmental safety and overall just the structure of a project. So typically the day involves both in office and on site. Usually in the morning, more focused on the administration aspect of it. And then after that, involved in site visits, site inspections, and going to various stakeholder meetings to sort out whether RFIs, NCRs. So yeah, in terms of that, in terms of like a glance of a day, yeah, that's what constitutes.
Awesome. And for Tek, what does a what does a day typically involve for a senior professional like yourself?
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, definitely. As a senior project manager, I'm involved in managing a program of works, basically different projects across different teams. Say a project in minor works, which involves say minor intersection upgrade works. So we'll be given design, and we'll have to estimate the projects and back the price to the customer, and customer reviews it. There will be a negotiation, and once the price is approved, and we'll start the construction. So we'll go through that. That's one side, one team, and there's other teams like say guardrail, Alliance in Science, SMPC, minor structural rehab. So as SPM or senior project manager, my aim is to involve with all the team at a program level, and ensure that all the works are getting done timely, within budget, within the stipulated quality, and remaining in safety and in compliance with safety and environmental legislation and policies and guidelines. So it's definitely a more of at a leadership level, where the senior project managers deals with the customer in town, which is our TMR corporate engineers. And deal with it in a different sectors as well, not just in design, not just in problem solving, but at some sort of coaching, mentoring, and knowledge sharing as well. So basically, as a senior project manager, it involves coaching of the graduate as well. So I've got recently got 3 graduates, including Janitha. There's 2 graduates which are not typically as graduates, but they have just started with us, and they're just finding their feet. So my aim is to just coach them, and some, for example, a basic principle of estimating. So what it involves, estimating from the first principle, for example, and then getting them on site, and showing them around what plan is used on what activities, and what are the process of doing each and every activity. For example, construction of a pavement, for example, or installing a sign, could be a whole heap of different things we might have to go through. So yeah, so definitely fruitful, and probably more satisfying to see, to train and to work with new graduates who have so many theoretical, a good theoretical knowledge, and we just have to help them out, find their potential within the TMR by putting them in a position to succeed. So I think that's about it.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So my next question, I guess it can apply to Tek and Janitha. So it's just about what is the difference between working in the government and industry. So Tek, did you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so working in government is really fruitful in terms of someone like who just graduate. We have a very structured development program, so we develop our people very slowly and gradually, so they don't miss out on the basics of the engineering. I'd say concept. So someone like Janitha, who started with us. So he started with us. He's nearly with us for 7 months, and he'll go another 4 to 5 months, and he'll move on to another section. Could be planning, could be a design, could be a delivery from the corporate side. So that gives him an opportunity to know the different facet of engineering delivery. Like, we are a team of construction delivery, RoadTech. That's what RoadTech is known for. And if he goes to say a program delivery and operation, which we short term we call PD and O, he will be delivering from the customer side as an assistant administrator or administrator. If he goes to a different team, for example, engineering technology branch, where he learns about design, about all the technical aspects of the engineering, and so that's a TMR as a whole entirety, as an organization, has so many teams. So a graduate will have opportunity to learn basically in 2 years' time most of the everything. They won't be probably fully experienced, but they will touch base with each and every aspect of the engineering work. Whereas I'm not sure that's the same case with the consulting. Consulting, definitely they are probably more probably profit based. I think performance focused. Whereas someone probably who is finding his feet may have may not get an opportunity with working with different teams. That's just my opinion. It could be different, but I'll probably say working in government allows you to be yourself, allows you to understand your potential more clearly, and allows you to ask with your managers which direction you want to follow after you finish your graduates. For example, so Janitha, if he likes construction, after he finishes with his graduate program, he come back to us and say, okay, yeah, I've done a 12 months period with RoadTech. I've known about all these different aspects of the RoadTech operates. So I'll probably be in project manager down the track. So it just allows you more options. So I think that's for me.
Awesome. Janitha, did you want to add anything else to that?
Yeah, just going on from what Tek was saying. I think because I worked in did internships in private as in the industry as well. And yeah, I think the biggest difference, what I've found to be, is the diversity in terms of the tasks and projects that you're involved with, and the learning pace, which allows you to really, I guess, take your time and go with your strengths and then develop your weaknesses as well. And it just gives you time to really understand the full aspect of what's required from the role. I think that would be the biggest differences. Yeah.
Awesome. So one thing you mentioned, Tek, was that the graduate rotation goes for about 2 years, I believe. So did either Tek or Lee, did you guys want to talk a little bit more about what the graduate rotation involves, being a graduate at TMR?
Sure. So TMR's graduate program is for 2 years in duration. We usually recruit about 71 graduates, the majority of which are engineers. So about 28 engineers we recruited in our last intake. And in that 2 years of during the program, graduates can have between 2 and 4 rotations, depending on what stream they're in. We find that anything more than that would mean that they don't have enough time in each area to really fully immerse themselves in the work. And particularly in our engineering areas, we do try and make it 2 lots of 12 months so that they do get a really good understanding of the area that they're in before they move on to the next one. We find that the graduate engineers who have the best experiences do get a good balance of seeing the full engineering life cycle. So they might do 12 months in that construction base or on site, site visits and really technical in the field type work, but also pairing that up with the administration side that Janitha was talking about, and we try to get them in different areas of our organisation, so they have a full understanding of the engineering life cycle through our different branches and divisions.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, well, that was super interesting. So let's move on to the next question I had, which was just about what can different streams of engineers expect in the government? So I'm not sure who would be best for that one, but would anyone like to start off?
I probably can't speak too much about what they can expect, but I can say that generally speaking, TMR recruits for civil engineers, electrical engineers. Most years we were recruiting for mechatronics and a mechanical engineer, as well as civil designers and environmental engineers as well. So I can only speak for TMR, but there is a broad range of engineering disciplines or engineering specialities that we do cater for to ensure that people, graduates coming in there's lots of opportunity to move into different areas. So it's the engineering stream is quite diverse in our organisation.
Awesome. Was there anything that you wanted to add, Tek? I see you unmuted yourself.
Oh, nah, that's all right. I think I'll just add on to what Lee. I think Lee covered most of the stuff. It's just So we use I think we recruit all the civil engineers of different streams, and then there's a civil designers as well, which is they go through designer stream. And then mechanical engineer, we got IT professionals, we got electronic and computer professionals as well, and then we got electrical engineers. There's a lot of electrical engineers here in RoadTech as well across the different teams, and then they work in different teams as well, like design team and administration team and the construction delivery team within RoadTech. So we definitely have a lot of opportunities for engineers across different streams.
Awesome. Great to hear. So let's talk a little bit about career progression. So what can an engineer going into TMR expect from career progression in the government? I think probably Tek or Lee could answer that one.
I think, so with career progression, for example, someone just comes as a graduate, finishes the graduate duration of 2 years. So at the end of the graduate program, they will probably understand what they want in terms of which direction they want to move for their career. So if someone wants to be in a delivery, there's two type of delivery. One is construction delivery, RoadTech, and then there's as administrator, you can still deliver from a corporate side, which is the PDN or program delivery and operation side. Some of the engineers, graduate engineers, they get enticed with say design, so they want to go and become like a engineering technology division team members, engineers. So they will go through say design of bridges, design of culverts. There's all the different teams within the design as well, asset management within there as well. And there's all the different other teams within the program management and delivery, PMD team as well. So at the end of the session, the 2 years sustained with us, once they finish their graduate program, depend on how they perform, and there's always going to be opportunity with us because we are one of the biggest recruiter within the engineering sector. We got I probably wouldn't say the numbers because I will leave it to Lee. Lee would have an exact number of how many engineers we have within our family, TMR family. But we have definitely, I can see all of my peers and seniors and all of our managers. Definitely a lot of numbers of engineers here, and then they went through a graduate program, most of them, and they find their niche in terms of what they want to do, which stream they want to go, design or delivery, and then they progress along, perform, and they got coach, they got mentor, and then they progress along from being graduate to project engineer to project manager to senior project manager and operation manager. On the different stream, they go through like a civil engineer of a PO3 scale, for example, and then jump into PO4 senior engineer, a PO4 scale, and go into become PO5 and PO6 principal engineer. So that's how the career progression works in TMR, and some of the talented and switched on and very focused people, they haven't probably waited for that to go through that. They went into PO4 and gone into become an executive director, for example. So it's all about potential. It's all about your focus and your design, how you want to just hone your skills, or just find what you want to do in life, and how you just plan to achieve those goals. And TMR is well placed to attract and those potential candidates who have all the skills and right mindset to progress them. For example, one of the team member who started probably later than me, and in here he's become he's acting as an operation manager within house. So because he's got all that skills and competencies, and he's framed himself and put himself in a position to succeed. So people with good attitude, good skill set, and people who understand the business needs, they always climb the ladder quicker than others. So and this is a organization which promotes leadership, which empowers people and give opportunity to the right people. So I think I've covered most of the thing I want to say. I'll leave it to Lee.
I think that I don't think I could add to that, really. That was beautifully said. So it's the progression that you want to make is based on, as Tek was saying, your attitude and and having a positive attitude to work and wanting to progress as well. A lot of that comes down to when you start in a role and those conversations you have with your supervisor about where you want to be, about where you see yourself, and the kind of experiences that you need as an engineer to get to the next level, and the kind of development that you want to have. So being, having a little bit of confidence to be able to say, I need these experiences to be able to progress goes a long way. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Okay, thanks, guys. So we do actually have a question from the audience. So I'll just pop that one up on the screen. So it's just here. So it's, what's your suggestion on a graduate, bachelor plus master's in civil engineering, who has been seeking a job for more than 5 years after graduation and hasn't had any success in landing a job yet? Does anyone have any advice for this question?
You want to give it a go, Lee?
Well, from a TMI graduate program point of view, we only accept qualifications that were no older than 3 years old. So you have to have graduated in the last 3 years in order to apply. In terms of having no chances of, having no luck in your job search just yet, I think it's a lot to do with really understanding the feedback from the opportunities that you've applied for and perhaps weren't successful in, and then asking for feedback as to what that panel or what that job, the people on the panel wanted to see, and maybe what sometimes it's about demonstrating what experience you had or what transferable skills you may have, and then applying that to your next opportunity. A lot can go with finding someone in the industry to be able to either review your resume or review your application to see where you might be able to really hone in on what it is about you and your skills that would work really well in the job you're applying for. So I think that, asking for help and getting as many industry examples as you can really does go a long way. And I'm hearing, being working in the graduate space for so long, that it is a applicants market at the moment. So there is more you've got, I hear you're spoiled for choice for roles at the moment, essentially. So I think if you look at your application skills and your interview skills, I think you'll go a long way.
Perfect. And I have another question for you as well, Lee, which is just about the application process. So could you just let us know what the application process is like, how many stages, what can they expect when they apply?
Absolutely. So TMR typically opens up for applications in March. However, we are currently open at the moment as well for applications for several roles, which I'll go into in a bit of detail. But our application process is you go to our TMR, or either via the Prospel, the TMR site on TMR pages on Prospel. I can put the link in the chat, or perhaps Emily might be able to.
I can do that.
Yep, that would be great. So if you head there and you search for the civil engineering roles, you click on the apply link in the ad. That will take you to an application form to be able to fill out. Once you fill that out, we have a recruitment partner called Hudson who helps us do some of the shortlisting. So you'll provide details about your degree, your eligibility, your residency status. And if you are shortlisted for the first stage is a mobile phone enabled app that you'll ask a few more questions. They'll ask a few more questions, and you can put your answers into the phone. If you make it through that stage, the next stage is a another behavioral survey that you can do on your phone or on your laptop. And again, it'll ask you some behavioral-based questions. If you make it through that stage, you'll be invited to our assessment centre. Now, our assessment centre is comprised of a face-to-face interview, so we do them virtually, such as now, a group activity, so you'll be in a sort of a webinar breakout room with other graduate candidates as well, and you'll work on a group activity together. And then you'll also have a written activity with a scenario that you'll have to show your communication skills. So all of those things in the assessment centre are being assessed by organisational psychologists, and then they feed that information to us about who the preferred candidate is. In your behavioural interview, that you'll be sitting on a panel with someone like Tek, who is a subject matter expert in engineering, as well as a HR representative. So there's several stages to go through before offer stage. So it's about six sort of stages. Our application process is detailed on our website also. Once you get your offer, you have a few weeks to respond. And then once you accept, we will put you in contact with the area that you'll be starting in TMR. And it's all detailed on our website as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. So just to follow on through that, so I would love to hear, Janitha, if you have any advice or tips that helped you get through your application process, if there's anything you'd like to share to future applicants.
Yeah, so in terms of the resume and cover letter, my biggest tips would be to really go through the job ad and identify what the organization is asking from the applicants, and really try to tailor your skills to those needs and requests. Whatever in terms of where you may be lacking certain technical skills, you can use your transferable skills from other experiences and really highlight those skills that will be really beneficial for the organization. In terms of prepping for the interview process, so one of the tasks that I did was the behavioral assessment. Try to do trial behavioral assessments, and that will allow you to find out more about your strengths and weaknesses, and things that you can work on, and things that you can really highlight to possible employers. And within the interview itself, really do kind of mock interview practices, and yeah, because I went through a written task and a group assessment. That the group assessment was really enjoyable and really allows you to kind of immerse yourself into a working environment. So that really gives a good uh, uh, look into how you would function with other stakeholders. So those will be the main key points and tips in terms of applying for TMI and other positions.
Awesome. And was there also a technical task?
Yeah, so in terms of the technical tasks, the technical tasks were within the written assessment and the group discussion. So within the group discussion, we had to read a case study and develop a solution with the other members in that assessment group on what's the most optimal solution and why we came to that conclusion. And in terms of other technical tasks and questions, would be the face-to-face interview. So this is where they really go through your past work experiences, and they really try to understand what you did in those work experiences. So in my case, when I was working with TMR on the Ipswich motorway upgrade, I had to describe my role in sorting out non-compliance reports, ITPs, and various inspections, and how I would assist my supervisor / project manager in making sure we meet the necessary deadlines and targets for the overall project.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's really interesting. The next question, I think I'll direct it to Tek, and it's just on how can candidates overcome the feeling of rejection from failing or doing badly on a technical task?
Thanks, Emily. So once you do some work, there's always a chance people may fail. Like if someone's, so for example, if I assign a task, a technical task, so say draft a specification based on the existing documentation, and then there's a chance that if I don't provide enough information, the accurate information, the person which is assigned that task may fail. So I think the recovering from failure is a part of a success. I take that way. I failed so many times in my life to come to this stage, and I take that as a stepping stone rather than a failure in itself. Like failure is really sometimes is demotivating. People don't spring from the failure and they just go on a dark path and don't achieve what they're capable of. So but I think the basic mantra is if someone doesn't do what they're supposed to do and fail and doesn't bring the outcome as they're supposed to, the basic I think process is to review what they have done so far to that brought that result, which is not what they expect. So basically, if someone fails in an interview, for example, and having say all these accreditations and all those the good marks in the university and have done so good and have done enough to be successful, but still if fails, the first thing is to review through and make sure they have done enough preparation, for example, and ask for a feedback as or I think that's what Lee was focusing on the previous question as well. So ask for a feedback as to what made them not pick up that candidate, for example. So what are the answers what that was supposed to be said and that wasn't said. That's why he or she didn't score enough to get successful in obtaining that position. So in terms of say our technical work, for example, so someone goes through on site as say a QA personnel, quality assurance personnel, someone what Janitha is working for us. If the works happened and say the work didn't happen as per the specification, what are the documentation, what are the steps that the Janitha didn't follow that resulted in that scenario. So there's documentation, for example, a quality verification checklist of every work. So we know what exactly we have to go on site and check it to make sure that all the steps are followed. We involve our customers and a client like TMI inspector as well. So these are all the steps. There's always all these steps stipulated for a task to be successful, and we have to continually review our actions and whether we have done enough to be successful, whether we have put ourselves to be in a position to be successful, and whether we have followed the instruction of our senior engineers and our peers, which is sometimes very fruitful, and ask for feedback. That's the biggest thing. I ask for feedback all the time, not just on technical aspects, on behavioral, on other aspects, whether I'm taking the leadership on a right manner, whether I'm empowering the people to be taking that extra stride to be successful. These are the things really important in life, not just in career, in your family life as well. You continually review yourself. You go on midnight and just think about what did I did today, did I offend someone unreasonably, did I become the best person I could have been easily, and these are the things. If you review and reflect, you'll be a better person next day, and you'll have that energy and drive and motivation to be better and to make your team better. So I think that's about that's the answer I would say.
I just wanted to add to that too, if that's right, Emily. And just in terms of candidates standing out in an interview with the previous question and things to expect, in the interview component of the assessment centres, we know that the graduate engineers aren't always going to have engineering experience other than the university degree that they've done, especially if they've been studying for 4 years. They might only have been working a part-time job at McDonald's or a service station or waiting tables. So we know that their job experience may not match the role they're applying for, which we completely understand. What we're looking for in that interview scenario when we ask them for examples is how they've applied their, say, problem-solving skills to a scenario. So a question that we might ask in the interview is, tell us about a time that you dealt with a difficult customer. How did you solve the problem and what was the outcome? We know that a 3-year or 4-year civil engineering graduate may not have a civil engineering example. They might give an example of, well, I was working waiting tables and there was an unhappy customer. This is the problem. This is how I solved it. And this was the outcome. So we just want to see how they apply that logical problem-solving framework or problem-solving steps to a scenario, and how they dealt with that customer. Did they deal with the customer with empathy, and what was the outcome? So it's less about. So Janitha was very fortunate that he's had the intern experience and the engineering examples that he could give. But not everyone is able to do that, given that they are fresh out of uni in a lot of situations. So I suppose my advice is don't be afraid to give your example. And the example that we get the most often is, I was working in my university on a group assignment and there was a disagreement about the content, about the work, and this is how I solved the problem. So we just want to see those transferable skills about working in teams, a bit of resilience, communications and how they solve problems. So we obviously know they need to have a high level of technical expertise from uni as well, but it's more about that those core fundamental skills of problem solving and working in a team. So.
Awesome. And did you have any other suggestions on how candidates can stand out in an interview, perhaps in terms of like communication skills, things like that?
Absolutely. So it's about showing that you've prepared for the interview. So it's the best, it's one of the best indicators of how we can see how you perform on the job. So if you come prepared with some examples thinking, oh, okay, so I know they're going to ask me some questions about how I work in a team, have some examples in your mind before you arrive and have some notes jotted down or just having some examples in your mind. So we know that not everyone is always confident and and outgoing and extroverted, but if you show that you've prepared and that you've taken the time to think about what kind of examples you would want to give, then those are the candidates that tend to stand out. And again, it might just be the example of working at Macca's and you solved a problem creatively, or you or you worked in a team really well, or it's not about what the example is, it's about how you applied yourself to the example. So it's more just about that, showing that you've prepared for the interview.
And when candidates are going through the application process, is there anything that they should be asking the hiring manager?
So I think the ones that do stand out, and I've sat on many panels before, so we do have a subject matter expert like Tek who would sit on a panel, but also a HR representative. The ones who have done some research about about our organisation, saying, asking some technical, not even necessarily technical questions, but something about TMR and an engineering project. Now, not all engineers know every project that's going on, because there's so many different facets of engineering in our organisation, as Tek has alluded to. But if you show that you've jumped on the website and had a look at, we've got a whole website there that lists all the projects throughout the state. If you show that you've done a little bit of preparation about the organisation, and if you also come prepared with where you see yourself in the future as well, and what you are most interested in the engineering stream, those are the ones that tend to stand out. And when the panel is deliberating later on, they will say, oh, well, Janitha, he said he was really interested in, that particular project, and I could see he would be really good at this. Those are the ones that stand out, that show that they are prepared and invested and engaged to work for us. And they're the ones that we want to snap up.
Awesome. Thanks, Lee. That's awesome. That's so much insight on the hiring process, and that's perfect. So useful for all the candidates. The next question I just want to ask is to Janitha. So I just want to ask, do you have any advice for engineers who are in university right now on how they can get a head start in their career, things that you did in uni that you wish other engineers would know about too?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you're in uni, can be quite daunting when you see like, I guess, your peers in internship programs or having work experience, because I myself I got into that very later on, and I was very lucky in that sense to get those opportunities. Yeah, I guess the biggest one would be to just try and get any experience anywhere possible. So like joining a engineering student group, or clubs and societies within uni, and then just apply or use any sort of your network to just get your foot in the door with any sort of company or program. That way, it just really gears you up for what you're about to face after uni. I think the biggest shock that you will face when you enter the workforce is the engagement with stakeholders and being able to talk to a multitude of people and being able to relate to them and work through a problem. That's something that at RoadTech that I've been immersed in from day one. Going to a site, talking to the subcontractor's supervisor, talking to the actual laborers, and identifying if there's a problem on site, how I can relay that to my project manager, and talking with members of public. I know uni tries to replicate that through project work, but it's very much apples and oranges. So I would say to really just practice being able to talk to multitude of people, and just put yourself out there for any opportunity that comes your way.
Awesome. Okay, great. That sounds awesome. What I wanted to also ask was, Tek, if there was any advice you had to like student engineers right now as well who are in university.
Yes. Advice for all the graduate engineers, just or the students who are doing university degree in different colleges and campuses and universities, is just focus on what you want to do. Like are probably more understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Some people are very good at maths and say science, and they want to do analytical jobs, and say staying in front of computer and using some of the softwares packages and doing designs and stuff like structural design could be as a designer using 12D and doing all that sort of stuff. Some people once they're pretty hands-on with other things. They want physically seen. They want to see the things getting built up, so they will probably end up working in delivery. Someone like myself and Janitha. So understanding your desire, your passion, and yourself as a person is the first step to probably make you what you want to be in the future. So and you can always test and try. Like some people work in delivery, and some people work in design, and some people work in again change, and so experience all the different facets of the our programs. So they want to be exposed to all the different works, so they understand, and when they experience enough, they will probably become probably a manager level person, which probably managing different aspects of the business. So yeah, for a graduate, work hard. I'll probably say, just work hard and smart at the same time. Focus your energy and your enthusiasm to the goals you want to achieve. There's always plenty of time for all the different aspects of the life as well. You want to enjoy. Everyone wants to enjoy different aspects of the life. So, and when you've committed to a program like a bachelor's degree in civil engineering or mechanical engineering, electronics engineering, that's you spending 4 years of your valuable time, and they definitely has to just, when you're spending so much time, may as well probably focus so hard and find yourself uh, become an engineer in down the track, like in a 4 years time when you finish your degree. And just understanding yourself is the first step. I think that will probably just pave the way for future successful to become a successful engineer down the track. So I'll encourage all the graduate engineers, if you have any access to any of your senior counterparts, like who's already working in some of the organizations like TMR or even private sector consultant, reach out to them what a career in engineering looks like. They will probably guide you through, and before you deviate from your real goal and real path, they will probably bring you back to the right track, and you'll understand more and more, and then you'll be probably more streamlined before when you pass out as a graduate. And by the time you start working as a graduate, the chances of being successful engineer down the track is probably much more higher than someone who is not guided enough. So taking guidance, listening to the instruction, and listening to probably liaising with all the different experienced group of people. Like, there's always counseling going on, and different organizing do probably counseling as well, career counseling, what one is capable of, what direction, if someone wants to be an engineer versus a scientist, what are the say pros and cons, and or whether one is suited for that. There's always that direction, that step one can take, and be sure that I've got this and this uh, personal traits, skills, and knowledges that I can probably just be a much better professional compared to this and this. So yeah, understanding oneself, one's strength, and liaising with different teams, different counterparts, professional people, or even organization, and following their advice. I think that's what the graduates should do, and that will help streamline their their mentality as well. So mentality, once you have positive mentality, good attitude, even if you fail one time, you'll probably chances of success is probably far better in the future because you're always positive. You're not deterred by a failure. So these are there's 80-20 rule in the, and which is probably more vague for graduate level. In our business, it's called 80-20. Sometimes 80% of is where all the technical aspect, technical competency, and all those sort of stuff falls. With 20% is mainly, so personal traits like integrity, honesty, hardworking, passionate about something, punctuality. So all these are 20% sometimes overpower the 80%. So once you become positive and understand that, you just only can do what the steps are, and the outcome is not within your bounds. So understanding that side of the philosophy of life will definitely pave a way for a better future for yourself as a graduate, because you can fail and you will still understand there's a lot of more opportunity down the track. So you're not going to get upset, you're not going to get deterred. So you will definitely probably will be cruising along and just knocking that door all the times, and the door will open one day.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tek. That was very motivational. So I'm sure that's super nice for all the current graduates and uni students to hear. Lee, sorry, I just wanted to say, was there any final job opportunities you wanted to share? Any information for graduates on where they can go apply and what, just when the dates are and all that? Would you like to just share the current job opportunities?
Absolutely. So the TMR graduate program is currently open for applications. So we currently have roles going in civil engineering, environmental engineering, accounting, spatial science, survey, and procurement. So that is currently open right now. You can either apply through TMR's business page on the Prosperable GradAustralia website, or you can head over to our TMR website. I can send you the. Should I put the link somewhere in the chat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can put it in the chat.
I put it in the comments chat. I can't actually add it in there. Sorry. I'll put it in the private chat.
Put it in the private chat and I'll put it up.
Okay. So I put that in the private chat. So if you head over to the TMR website graduate pages, it'll go into detail about, again, the application process. We are currently open now until the 29th of August. And there is a link there to apply. So you just click that link, fill in all your details. Your details get sent to our recruitment partner, Hudson, and then they will start to invite you to the various assessment stages as you go through. Also in there, I think, is our email address too. If you have any questions about the program or anything like that, then you'll find it on that website as well.
Okay, perfect. So just to wrap up today's session, if you guys are interested in, getting job opportunity updates and getting more valuable insights on employers and whatnot, make sure that you sign up for GradAustralia and create a profile. We have a bunch of sessions that we do with the webinars. So we do them usually 2 times a week to 1 time a week. And there's a bunch of really valuable topics like how to build a CV, how to maximize your graduate salary, how to start a career in nursing or midwifery. So there's a bunch of really valuable things. So even if it's not for your industry, it's likely that it might be for someone you know. So make sure you share with your friends. You can follow us on our socials. We're on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We post them all over there as well. So you can stay tuned there. Or you can, of course, head to our website. So thank you so much to 3 of you for joining today and sharing all the really valuable insights. If anyone wants to watch this video again, you can check it out on our YouTube, or it'll be on our LinkedIn. It'll also be on TMR's graduate profile as well. So yeah, make sure you take a screenshot of these links here and check them out. So thanks, guys, for joining today, and we'll wrap it up here and end the broadcast. Awesome. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.